Hi, I'm Jeff Richardson, and I'm the County Executive for Albemarle County. Thank you for spending the next couple of minutes with us as we visit in a video with our staff, and they will be talking about what our progress has been over the past year with Albemarle County's strategic plan. Our Board of Supervisors works tirelessly throughout the year, and they try to identify what are our most important strategic initiatives that would have the effect of moving this community's quality of life forward in a way to where we can raise the standard of living throughout the county. These initiatives are discussed, and then they are embedded into our yearly budgeting process. Over the past year, our staff has worked very hard to move a number of strategic priorities forward, and they've done this in the wake of the COVID pandemic. So it may look a little different than it does ordinarily because we have had a part of our operations that has had to pivot and focus on emergency operations to serve our public. But at the same time, we have still made meaningful progress in a number of areas over the past year. And I hope that you will see that as we discuss it. From this, the board will take the work that has been implemented. They will continue to look at their strategic priorities as we work into the fiscal year 22 budgeting process, and we will look to see what is achievable over the next year. Thank you.
The Board of Supervisors identified climate action planning as a top priority because it became increasingly evident that climate action planning at a local level was more effective.
So just last October 7th, I believe it was, the board took action and adopted this climate action plan. Our next steps are going to be to work on implementing these actions one by one. We've done some prioritization work. We want to do some more to identify those that are going to be most cost effective and result in the most co-benefits, including addressing equity issues.
The community has asked for expanded recreational amenities through our recreational needs assessment we did back in 2018. It's been a board directive for many years, and we're fulfilling the need by expanding parks. And one of the newest ones is the Brook Hill River Park, and we did a soft opening 2 years ago, and you can launch your canoe there and float down to Dardental Park right here. It's about a 7-mile float. Another park project is the Biscuit Run rezoning. That was very important, so we could start work on the Biscuit Run Park.
This past year program is really good. Our numbers are really up. We had a movie night this past year that did really well. Volleyball has taken off this past year. Yeah, so in normal years, we have our middle school sports program. We offer a bunch of different sports, and we average around to 1,000 to 1,200 kids.
When COVID-19 hit back in March and everybody was quarantined for the better part of April, folks were going stir crazy in their homes. So we were happy to be able to keep the parks open for folks to get out and enjoy the outdoors. And we started a Park Ambassador program to remind folks to be safe and follow all the CDC guidelines. We're continuing to work on amenities in our parks and make improvements where we can.
In 2019, the Board of Supervisors made economic development a strategic priority. The reason was the board recognized the importance of having high-quality jobs, high-quality built environment to improve the quality of life for everyone in the community. Part of the economic development strategic plan is to help existing businesses survive with customized solutions, whether that's helping Willow Tree find a home, such as this beautiful historic campus, or includes a restaurant and brewery for a world-class campus for a world-class company. One of the accomplishments this year was finding a home for Castle Hill Gaming so they could remain in Albemarle County. Eventually, the COVID-19 pandemic hit our community, and it forced economic development to change its strategic plan. We moved from helping primary businesses to helping all existing businesses survive. There's some really cool projects coming down the pipeline. It includes expansions of some local businesses, a public-private partnership, and a collaboration between the University of Virginia, the city, the county, and the chamber.
So as Albemarle County is growing, more families are moving to this area, and as we welcome more students in our schools, we need more space. So school expansion needs are important so that we have adequate capacity and space in our buildings to safely house all our students. So we are excited to have 2 major projects under construction right now that will expand capacity at our schools. There's a project underway at Red Hill Elementary and one at Scottsville Elementary. So COVID obviously had a substantial impact on our schools when schools closed in March. But with challenges come opportunities. We have developed deeper partnerships with their families. We have been able to invest in Wi-Fi access points, bringing internet access to lots of our families. It's been a priority for a while, and this pandemic has accelerated those improvements. So right now we are in the design phases of 2 key projects. One is an expansion at Crozet Elementary, which will help with the growth in the western part of the county. And we're also designing High School Center 2, which is an exciting educational model that will also provide capacity relief to all 3 of our high schools.
There is a system of underground pipes and other structures that convey stormwater runoff that lies on thousands of different private properties that is being ignored and not maintained currently. So the board has asked staff to look at what it would cost to adopt a program to maintain this infrastructure. So we've been working with contractors to assess this underground infrastructure to get a sense of the condition that it's in order for us to understand how much it would cost to maintain it over time. So we received our last batch of data in April, and we're wrapping that data into our cost estimates, and we're ready to go back to the board at the next opportunity to present them with a matrix of different levels of service for them to decide where they want to go with this.
So the strategic plan of revitalizing aging urban neighborhoods really reflects the board's desire to respond to a number of changing urban issues, such as the changing preferences for households to move from outlying areas to urban areas with easier access to services and amenities, making sure that households are living closer to their places of employment and to employment opportunities, and also to make sure that our existing neighborhoods retain good quality housing, affordable housing, and appropriate infrastructure. And the flagship project that we're working on currently is the redevelopment of the Southwood Mobile Home Park. That project really epitomizes the intent behind the strategic goal. And the end result will provide brand new housing for more than 300 residents of the county who are currently living in substandard housing.
Okay, so as part of the goal of revitalizing aging urban neighborhoods, it's really important to look at the transportation infrastructure and how those people are getting around, including transit, bicycle, and pedestrian modes. So since we've started on this strategic plan goal, we've been looking at places where we could add more sidewalks and transportation infrastructure. I'm standing here at Commonwealth and Hydraulic, where we just recently received a grant to put additional sidewalk heading down Commonwealth Drive here that will connect this neighborhood along one of our most popular transit routes. And we've also got a new sidewalk going down Hydraulic that was built a few years back with additional funding. Beyond that, we also received funding for new bike ped infrastructure over at Albemarle High School, a new pedestrian crossing at Mountain View Elementary School, and numerous other projects that are ongoing.
The courthouse and renovations and additions to have been a subject of board conversations for well over 20 years. After deliberations by the board, it was decided that we would keep the courts in the locations that they're in now and maintain this historic facility. An agreement was reached with the city of Charlottesville, a formal agreement, to move forward with that, as well as developing the Levy site which is adjacent to this property for the new General District Court building. We began a very thorough and detail-oriented RFP process, request for proposal for design services. Fentress Architects was chosen. They are moving forward right now with programming, and they're moving forward the design of both the circuit court renovations that you see behind us and the Levy complex, which is a historic Levy Opera House, and the space behind it where the new General District Court will be erected.
Broadband expansion in Albemarle County has been a priority since 2017 when the Board of Supervisors appointed members of the Albemarle Broadband Authority. We've been working to expand broadband to every citizen in Albemarle County, both from an accessibility as well as an affordability perspective. The Albemarle Broadband Authority has been successful in retrieving grants from the state 4 years out of 5 years of existence of the Virginia Telecommunication Initiative. During those 4 years, we have received funding which provided service to 1,640 locations in the rural areas of Albemarle County. We have an application under review, which if approved will add another 2,000 locations.
So the board identified Route 29 as a high priority project because of its location at two key corridors of the county and its potential to be a future transportation hub, as well as its potential for redevelopment and the opportunity it presented to become a vibrant mixed-use area. So in 2018, the board adopted the Route 29 Small Area Plan, which identified the community's vision for the Route 29 area. And since that time, staff has been developing zoning regulations as a form-based code to make sure the regulations align with the community's vision. And we're bringing that document forward to the community this month and next month for review and feedback. We will bring a final draft early 2021 for adoption.